Welcome to Charity Therapy, the podcast where we explore the ups and downs of the nonprofit sector and answer your burning questions. I'm your host, Jess Birkin, owner of Birkin Law Office, and I'm excited you're here. Imagine hanging out with me and my super smart, funny nonprofit expert pals. You get to ask them anything about your nitty-gritty nonprofit life and get their wisdom for free. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just strapping on your nonprofit boots, we're here to share stories and remind you you're not alone on this journey. So get ready to join the conversation and bring me the tough questions. I ain't scared. Ready to rock? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to this episode of Charity Therapy. I am here with my intrepid co-host, Megan. Hello, Megan.
Hello, Jess, my intrepid primary host. I don't know. That sounds like parasite level weird. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like it. You're the main host. I'm the I don't know.
The co-host.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'm just the host.
Yeah,
you're
the host. The host.
You're
yeah.
the sidekick.
I don't know why I'm making this
demeaning.
so complicated.
I don't like that sidekick.
The non-lawyer sidekick.
I'll just let everyone know that I refer to Megan as my wing woman.
Mm-hmm.
So you write in and tell me if that's better or worse than sidekick.
Yeah, let me know. Whenever you say wing woman, I gotta say, I picture like a really, really large wing the size a human would have, and I'm just like standing on it. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's like a very normal phrase, but I can't do it without picturing that.
I picture the Night at the Roxbury, the old SNL skit with the two guys in the club who are nodding their heads to... No? You don't know?
Sorry, I don't got it.
Old.
I'm writing it down
old.
to look it up. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm like,
look it up,
at
people.
That joke
Look
later.
it up.
Yep.
Lady, don't hurt me no more. What is love? Okay, anyway, we're doing a podcast about nonprofits. What are we doing?
I might have to be that, I'm not Gen Z, but that trend of my Gen Z editor, edited all my stuff. I'm going to have to edit all the times you sing on this podcast sometime together and release it as a little promo.
There's nothing you can't say about Gen X. Wait, I don't even know. That started out badly. What I'm trying to say is Gen X, we like music. Okay. Yeah. We like the musics. We know all the musics. We grew up before the interwebs and we listen to a lot of music. So yeah, sorry.
So you
don't like occasionally bursting into song. Find a different podcast.
We got to find our people. This is the way to, weed out the weak among us. So
that's right.
Okay. Well,
what now?
Let's talk about actual things. How about that? So before we get into the actual listener question, I have a little primer question for you, Jess. Can you tell the listeners what a gift acceptance policy is and why nonprofits should have one?
Yeah. So gift acceptance policy, AKA your reason for saying no to a donor. No, it's a real thing. It is a real thing. Gift acceptance policy is basically, there's two ways you could take it. One is gifts that you might be trying to make to the board and we don't accept those things. That's not what I'm talking about here. A gift acceptance policy is like, what kind of charitable donation will our organization take from donors? Will we accept cash? Yes. Will we accept real estate? Maybe. Not sure. Maybe there's a committee. Will we accept stocks? Maybe. There should be rules around that. Do we take Ethereum? Probably not, because what are we going to do with that? Right? So what are the rules around it? And then also, if it's something that we're going to take with the idea of getting rid of it to turn it into cash, we have some rules and requirements around that and following the IRS regulations and all that sort of stuff. But I joke that it's the thing you use to say no to people, because when somebody wants to donate a used airplane to you because they can't sell it and they're like, hey, I could donate this to charity, you need something to lean on to say, I would love to take your gently used small airplane. Unfortunately, our gift acceptance policy doesn't allow us to do that. And it's not me. It's not you. It's not me. It's the policy. So sorry.
I love a policy that you can point to and be like, so sorry, this doesn't work. Also, just you saying this is funny because I feel like I'm among the majority of the regular nonprofit public who wouldn't think necessarily or jump to the conclusion that donors will try to give you weird shit sometimes. But as soon as you say it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that makes total sense that donors will try to give you weird stuff and you have to know how to say no. So,
well, because here's the thing. They think it's a win-win. It's not like they're trying to pull a fast one. They're
no,
just
not
thinking,
at all.
hey, I have this thing. I have to get rid of it for whatever reason. I can't sell it for whatever reason. I bet I could give it to charity. I'll get a deduction. You get the thing. You can sell it because you'll be able to do that easier than I will. That's
or they
where
haven't
the
even
logic
thought
breaks
that far
down.
ahead. Yeah, it could just
Right.
be that they're purely just like, I don't want this anymore.
Win-win.
It's valuable. You do it.
Right.
And not realizing that it will take a lot to sell or that there are other considerations if you were to accept an airplane.
Well, right, because where are you going to keep the airplane? Well, now you got to rent a hangar and somebody's got to maintain it. And you probably need a specialty person to help you sell something like that. Now you're using time on this like airplane storage, maintenance, and sale. When I was in-house, this would absolutely happen. It'd be like some little old lady died and left it in her will that like we should get the completely landlocked 10 acres squished between 4 other properties, no way to actually access the property unless we pay a neighbor to get an easement. And then what? It's like not a piece of property the organization wanted, needed, not really something you could sell unless it was to one of those 4 neighbors. You got to have a way to say no sometimes,
Yeah.
You just do.
Yeah. Well, this extended airplane and land property metaphor explanation aside, I do have a real listener question about this. So let's jump in. So person writes in and says, we have a donation button on our website where people can give online and set up recurring donations for monthly contributions. A few weeks ago, someone set up a daily 50-cent donation. Our accountant looked into it and is saying that it's not fraud or anything like that, but it just seems really silly. Our payment processor takes 30 cents out per transaction plus a merchant fee. So we're getting next to nothing on these donations. What do I do?
Okay, so this is a little different than a used car, airplane, or a piece of real estate.
Could be the opposite problem.
Could be the opposite problem. I'm thinking it is the opposite. Let's just do the math. Okay, so we got 50 cents minus 30 cents. Now we have 20 cents left, minus 3% merchant fee. So we got like, what, 17 cents?
Something like that.
Something like that. And then, then we got to account for it.
Yeah. So
now,
whatever
by the time
human time or whatever.
Yeah, the human time is actually negative. It's a negative gift.
We're paying money in order to have this person give 50 cents a day to the nonprofit.
Well, plus we got to send them a thank you legally.
Yeah.
Well, wait, do we? Let me do the math. Let's just say 50 times 365. Yeah, that's $182. So it's not nothing.
No,
so at the end of the year, we're going to want to thank them, which, and I don't know if you know this, but like as of July 2025, a U.S. postal stamp is 78 cents. And that's more than 3 days of donations from this person. So take that off the top.
Yep.
I mean, it's not nothing. It's very generous. And I love the idea of like a sustaining gift, like where people put it on automatic.
Yep.
But I think this organization probably needs to set a minimum threshold because it's literally probably costing them money to accept a 50-cent gift. So,
and it's the same thing as the airplane at the end of the day, where it's like the airplane has a bunch of hidden costs to accepting it, right? Like it costs money to store it, to have insurance on it, to find people to sell it, to maintain it, whatever it is. And this does too. And it's just normally when you're thinking 30 cents a transaction, it's like, that's nothing. Like, because most transactions are going to be like $25 or something, or even $5. It's like that percentage is fine. But on 50 cents and every single day, that adds up fast and becomes a real cost to the organization instead of a benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. Great example of how you should draft your gift acceptance policy. And never in all of my years of lawyering have I ever drafted a gift acceptance policy that had to account for this scenario. But I think that you could.
Yeah.
You certainly could.
Even if it's not literally in your gift acceptance policy, it feels like something that is probably doable in your payment processor just to have a minimum amount accepted, whether it's like $1 or $5 or whatever you decide is doable. But we don't want to have that running.
Yeah. And you can have a little asterisk like why this minimum amount, and it can be like asterisk why this amount. Each donation we process online costs the organization X, Y, and Z plus merchant fees. I mean, like you can explain if you feel weird about it. It's not free to process your gift. I don't think I would say that, but there's a way that you could talk about it.
And I think the biggest thing that to get at here is that this person probably has good intentions. They're probably coming at this of like, I wouldn't notice 50 cents a day, so I might as well use that as a way to contribute. And like you said, $180 something a year is not a small gift. Like that's a substantive gift when you add it all together. But they are just not aware that the way that they're giving it is not actually going to be useful to the nonprofit. And so you can gently educate your donors about those kinds of issues and, do your best to maintain that relationship and kind of get at why they want to donate and what the real effect the daily donation is having.
Yeah, for real. I feel like if Pat Kirby were here, he would be like so excited that this person is so engaged in our mission and believes in it so much that literally every day of the year they want to be giving to us. Like that's amazing. That's something to be celebrated. And we need to help this donor find a different way to do it. I totally agree. The technology solution is probably the way to go. I don't know if you really need to put this in a gift acceptance policy. If you want to see like the kind of policies that I draft, we have like a wizard on the Birkin Law website that's in the resources. You can search for that. It doesn't address a minimum viable donation online, but I mean, maybe it should, because I don't want a 50-cent check either. It's an interesting issue for sure.
And not one that comes up very often in 2025 when we are recording this, considering, can you even get like a gumball for 50 cents?
I don't think so, man. I bought some stuff at the mall for my teenager, those little like the little cups with the covers, and you like get a little toy inside. I want to say those were like $1, maybe $1.50. It's a ripoff. Let me tell you.
It's a racket. Yeah.
Back in my day, you put a quarter in,
would cover your whole work or your whole day of eating or whatever.
Back in my day, when I was a college kid, the homies, you could get like the homies even for maybe 50 cents out of those machines. I mean, yeah. I don't know how old this donor is, but they're at least my age.
Yeah. Inflation has not caught up with them in a way that maybe makes sense.
Right. Well, what do we got here, Megan? What do you think?
Okay, I got a couple of takeaways here. So first, you should have a gift acceptance policy if you don't already. The gift acceptance policy allows you to define what kinds of donations and contributions you can take as an organization and allows you to say no to things that are not ultimately going to benefit the nonprofit. Secondly, not all gifts are good gifts. Sometimes things that have a great intention of supporting the nonprofit really will cause more cost or more harm to the organization than what the donor intends. So it's important to keep an eye on what people are wanting to contribute and not just say yes just because you want to have a good relationship with the donor. You do want to think about what would actually benefit the nonprofit in the long term, and that is part of creating that gift acceptance policy. And finally, in a situation like this, if a donor is wanting to give you something that you don't really want, like a daily 50-cent donation, you can kind of appeal to the reason why they're giving that donation and figure out another way to re-engage them that helps the nonprofit. So it's not a situation where you have to be like, get out of here. You can instead say, hey, I love that you want to give to us every single day. Here's, what that looks like for us. Is there another way that we can work with you? And, you can use those people skills to create a relationship with your donor and protect the nonprofit from wasting their time and energy on stuff like this.
Yeah, I think I would just add, there's this desire to avoid saying no to the donor.
Yeah.
And I think the thing you have to kind of ground down in reality is you say no to people you care about a lot. If you're a parent, you say no to your children. You say no to your siblings. You say no to your family. You say no to your friends. And they still love you at the end of the day, or they should, because you do it in a way that preserves the relationship. And so just remember, you're in relationship with your donors, and you can say no in a way that still preserves and even strengthens your relationship. So don't forget that that is possible. That's my only little add-on there. Look, folks, if you know somebody who just got a 50 cents a day gift, you should forward this episode to them. If you know somebody who's thinking about starting a sustaining donor program, maybe just share this one with them so they think through the unique ways that donors will break your system before you're ready. If you've got a story to share, a question, anything, get at us. We want to hear it. We'll keep it anonymous. Send us a note at charitytherapy.show. And as always, thanks for listening. Appreciate you.